Hey everybody, welcome to Top 10 Thursday on the Mana Leak. I'm John as always, and this week it's time for the top 10 pieces of art from Eldritch Moon. Now, quick note right off the top, down in the comments below, I want to know what older sets you want to see top 10 art lists for. As you've probably noticed, I do a mixture of top 10 lists focused on the current set, as well as top 10 lists focused on other things Magic related. And one thing that I do want to do is go back through all the older sets and eventually hit the top 10 arts of every set. It won't be super regular. It'll probably be once every 3 weeks or so that I'll do one, but I do want to start heading back to the older sets. I don't know where I'll start, so if you want to have a little bit of influence on that, post in the comments down below which older sets you want to see a top 10 art list of. But we're going to jump right on into number 10. So I'd probably be murdered if I didn't put this one on the list, but I do like it because it is pretty darn adorable. It's number 10, Harmless Offering. Yeah, it's a super adorable kitty. It's also a little bit creepy with the weird snake tail and the back paw that is a little bit more monstrous than a little kitty should be. And the guy's hand has totally seen better days with this kitty. So yeah, pretty cool art. It's probably going to go down as one of the more iconic pieces of Innistrad, and not really for the reasons of Innistrad. Innistrad has a ton of horrible, terrifying tentacle monsters, and one of the most memorable pieces of art will be this adorable kitty. So number 10, Harmless Offering. Up next at number 9 is Prey Upon. Prey Upon is a great callback to the original version of Prey Upon. The original version of Prey Upon was a soldier fighting a giant werewolf, and this one in Eldritch Moon is basically the exact same scene, except it's a giant Eldrazi werewolf fighting a much more normal-sized regular werewolf. Maybe that means the werewolf actually killed the human in the first Prey Upon, and now it's trying to live against the Eldrazi werewolf. Who knows? But I do really enjoy callbacks in Magic art, especially if they're done by the same artists. So yeah, cool little callback. I'm always a fan of that. So number 9, Prey Upon. Field Creeper is up next at number 8, and it's pretty unassuming, but I really love this art. It's just the blues in it and the purple in like the pumpkin head. It's relatively simple art, and it's not probably going to be remembered as one of the standout pieces of Eldritch Moon, but I love the colors of this piece. I would actually really love to get a print of it at some point. I unfortunately couldn't even find a full-sized art image of it, so we just have to use the card. But yeah, I would love to get a print of this. I'm going to be searching out the artist, see if there are any GPs nearby. I love this piece. It's simple, but the colors, I just love it. So number 8, Field Creeper. Well, it wouldn't be an art list if John Avon wasn't on this list, so number 7 is Aurora of Emre Cool, the flip side of Cryptolith Fragments. Again, I love the colors of this, and I love the way the actual sort of Aurora creature sort of came out on it. It's very ethereal, it's not quite there. It's a reflection type creature, which I don't know if there's ever been a reflection creature type in Magic before this one. It's just really awesome, and it's another piece that I definitely want to get a print of. Unfortunately, John Avon doesn't really travel to GPs in North America too much that I've seen, but I'll be keeping an eye out. Number 7, Aurora of Emre Cool. Number 6 is Shrill Howlers' Backside. Shrill Howlers' art is neither here nor there, but Howling Chorus I absolutely love. It's extremely creepy with the werewolf heads coming out of the mouth of the original werewolf. It's very creepy. It really hits home the message of exactly what kind of weird stuff Emre Cool is doing to the plane of Innistrad. I actually saw this in the Innistrad art book, which I strongly recommend. The Magic art books are incredible. But I saw this a couple days before the card was even spoiled, so I saw the full glossy art in this giant coffee table sized book of Howling Chorus, and I knew I needed to see that card when it was finally spoiled. Turns out it's not an amazing rare card or anything, but it is really cool art. So, number 6, Howling Chorus. At number 5, it's time for another callback. Grapple with the Past is a callback to the Innistrad card, Make a Wish. So Make a Wish was a really cool perspective piece of a little girl tossing a coin down a well, and, you know, the coin was kind of the focus, and it was a really cool perspective piece back up to the well where she was tossing it in. Who knows what wish she was making, but it probably wasn't to become the horrible Eldrazi monster that she appears to be now, but she's gone back to the well because it looks like she's dropped her teddy bear down and she's going to get it. She's a terrible, horrible Eldrazi monster bent on destroying Innistrad, but she still needs her teddy bear. As I said, I love callbacks. I love when artists revisit pieces and change them in some way. Super cool. Number 5, Grapple with the Past. So obviously some meld cards would have to make this list, and up first at number 4 is Hanweir the Writhing Township. This just shows again how awesomely Emre Cool has warped the plane of Innistrad. She has not just changed werewolves into Eldrazi werewolves and boars into Eldrazi boars, she has turned an entire town into a giant ooze monster. The people, the weapons, the barricades, the buildings themselves are all one single giant entity. And if you actually look at the full card art, which you can't see on the card, or you can sort of see behind the text box on the card, you actually see that the art piece is a full picture showing two children kind of standing some distance away, looking at what presumably used to be their home, now being a giant, terrifying Eldrazi town ooze monster. Very cool piece. Really, really cool. Number 4, Hanweir the Writhing Township. At number 3, we have Emre Cool, The Promised End. Obviously, Emre Cool would have to make this list. Emre Cool's art is very cool because it's very similar to Hanweir's art in that on the card, it focuses on her. It shows her, it's a creature, it's focused on her. But if you take away the text box and all the other stuff and you look at the full piece, you actually see that it's a real sort of set piece, a scene of Emre Cool just kind of hanging back, warping a whole bunch of the people on Innistrad into terrible Eldrazi monsters, making them fight against the people who haven't transformed yet, which is kind of cool. It shows how Emre Cool is different than Ulamog and Kozilek. They just kind of eat everything, whereas Emre Cool changes everything and causes issues from that. So yeah, number 3, Emre Cool, The Promised End. Number 2 is pretty simple. It's Oath of Lilliana. The second I saw this art, I knew it was going to become my favorite Lilliana art. Yeah, the Steve Argyle one is really iconic, but this one is just perfect. It's just a perfect portrait of her taking the Oath of the Gatewatch. I love the moon in the background, the clouds, the bats or whatever they are behind her. Really, really cool. A little bit of a story thing here. Every other oath from Oath of the Gatewatch, the Planeswalker had some sort of magic symbol or magic coming out of their hand. Lilliana has nothing. The runes on her skin are lit up a little bit, but they usually are anyways. So it's kind of interesting that her oath maybe doesn't seem as genuine as the other oaths. And I think that will probably come up at some point in the story where she turns her back on them or betrays them in some way, shape, or form. But number 2, definitely want a print of this, Oath of Lilliana. Well, number 1 is probably going to be most people's favorite art piece from Eldritch Moon. It's Rosella. Good old Rosella. Rosella is gruesome and gorgeous at the same time. The colors are amazing. I love the colors of Emre Cool. The purples and the reds and the blues all meshed together. Love it. Absolutely terrifying. Not to mention representing the death or at least melding of two pretty major Innistrad story characters in Gisela and Bruna to make Brizella. This is going to be one of those art pieces that just is always remembered as the iconic art piece of Eldritch Moon. Not only because it represents Gisela and Bruna, but it also is kind of representative of this crazy, just out of the blue, brand new mechanic that is going to be pretty unique in Magic's history. So I expect this to go down as one of the most iconic pieces of art in Eldritch Moon. So number 1 is Rosella. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for the top 10 art pieces from Eldritch Moon. Let me know what is missing from this list. What are your favorite art pieces that didn't make this list? Let me know in the comments down below. As I said, also let me know what older sets you want to see a top 10 art list for. I've done Shadows and I've done Eldritch Moon, so anything before that is fair game. As I said, that'll probably be once every 3-ish weeks or so that I do a top 10 list like that. But let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at TheManaLeak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheManaLeak, and of course, Facebook.com/TheManaLeak. You've found me here on YouTube. Make use of that comment section. Click that thumbs up icon if you like the content, and click subscribe if you want to see more. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all next time.